Recently, in the House of Parliament in Jamaica, a question was posed to the chairman of the NHT, and it sparked a very heated debate. Now, I would say the injustice using the trust funds of workers to repair church roofs while those same workers can't get a loan to fix their own homes is the definition of policy driven oppression. So today we want to dive into this. So all Jamaicans, home and abroad, citizens of Jamaica, gather here. And I hope you share this recording. The housing gap, a 10-year analysis of NHT policy and the low income earner. First, the core problem, the points illusion or the points system, which is very strict and rigorous. For a minimum wage earner, the NHT fees less like a trust and more like a tax. Now, the math, the first point I'm making, as of early 2026, the individual loan limit was increased to 9 million, yeah, and 12 million for houses under 14 million, and that is Jamaican dollars. The reality, even though the limit went up, a minimum wage earner's repayment capacity, and this is based on their salary, I'm saying, usually only qualifies them for a fraction of that amount. You see, the 10-year trap. After 10 years of contributing, a worker's points are at their peak. But the price of a studio unit in Jamaica, my country, has outpaced their wage growth by nearly 300%. The rich can use their higher salaries to access the full 9 million Jamaican dollars and even plus the 15 million Jamaican dollars when you co-applicant. You see? While the poor remain stuck. Now I want to get into something else. The institutional double standard. This is where you address the MP's point. This is where we're going to dive into about the church and the rich benefiting. Let's talk about it. The church loan issue. The government recently allocated 75 million Jamaican dollars in grants and created institutional loans for churches. The argument that the MP is putting forward, and many Jamaicans who over the years would want something like this to happen, the MP, Everall Warmington, argues that churches do not pay the statutory 3% as an employer and the 2% as an employee deductions from their salaries. Well, does a church have a TRN? One of my colleagues, very educated person, asked me, does the church have a TRN? I don't know. Now, the injustice you see here, using the trust funds of workers to repair church roofs, while those same workers can't get a loan to fix their own homes, is the definition of policy driven oppression. Now, why the system is rigged for the wealthy? Open market access. Wealthy contributors can buy land or homes anywhere. Low income earners are restricted to NHT schemes, which are often oversubscribed. Yeah? Thousands apply for 50 units and located far from city centers. Can you imagine? They don't build as much houses, yet they are collecting billions. Now, co-applicant advantage. Higher earners can easily find 2 or 3 professional co-applicants to reach a 23 million Jamaican dollars loan limit. A minimum wage earner often cannot find a co-applicant with the income level required to make a dent in the market. Now, this is my proposed solution. Making NHT fair again. Just as though Donald Trump said, make America great again. Why not make Jamaica great again? By reviewing all these unfair suppression policies that are still in effect today. To make your presentation, when you go on any social media or in parliament, please be action oriented. Any member of parliament, I'm putting this out to. All right. And these are my few possible solutions. One, the contributor first, dividend. Proposal. Instead of giving grants to churches, the NHT should issue a loyalty grant to every contributor who has paid in for 15 plus years without a loan. First, secondly, the impact. This gives the worker their own money back to use as a down payment for a private home, bypassing the strict income to loan ratio. For those who are good at math and understand what I just said, you can explain that to others. Now, tired interest rates, the 0% floor. This is my proposal. While the NHT has already moved toward lower rates, 0% for some, the repayment period for low income earners should be extended from 40 years to 50 years. Yeah? That is called intergenerational loans. The impact this would have, lowering the monthly payment makes a $10 million home, Jamaican dollars, affordable on a minimum wage salary. And that is for the Minister of Finance, or the one that is responsible for the trust funds. Yeah. Now, land only grants for minimum wage earners. This is my proposal. Instead of building expensive houses, the NHT should give service lots. I mean, land with water or light to low income earners for the free or at a 90% discount. What impact this would have? The worker can then bill piece by piece as they get money, which is the traditional Jamaican way of home ownership. Yeah? 4, institutional borrowing restrictions. Look at this. This is my proposal. Pass a law stating that no institution, such as the church, the NGO, or private corps, can access NHT funds unless they have been a contributing employer for at least 10 years. And my colleague, which was also my manager, would very much agree with me on this point. What impact would this have? This protects the trust from being used as a government piggy bank. Now, what do I have to say? The National Housing Trust was built on the sweat of the Jamaican worker. If a man pays into a system for a decade and still cannot afford a roof over his head, the system is not broken. It is working exactly as intended to keep him out of his own house or owning his own home. It is time to move from housing schemes to home ownership rights. Jamaican, a yard and abroad. Citizens, tell me, what do you have to say?